What's up? Honor Hammer 26 here, and if you're expecting this to be my PWG 99 review, the order still isn't here. I thought I would get it sometime this coming week. Still hasn't showed up, but whatever. I guess I'll have to do those three videos. I'm expecting the order probably today, Monday, or next Tuesday, I guess now, so I'll do them going into next week. I want to talk about Friday Night Smackdown, which I just got done watching, which I DVR'd. I would have done this video last night, but I had to get ready for my meeting at work last night, and of course, this meeting before this, I had my meeting. So let's get right to it. Start SmackDown with Jeff Hardy giving a pretty good promo on CM Punk and his match of United Champions, and that was good. And then him and Kane have an okay match, nothing to worry about there. Then I kind of fast forwarded because I didn't see anything noteworthy until the whole R-Truth thing, and that was a whole hysterical. He's trying to get into through security, his old government name. I thought it was the entire thing was absolutely hysterical. Then CM Punk came out and gave an excellent promo on Jeff Hardy. He was sitting at ringside for his match with the Great Khali. He's just shown that he can do so much as a heel. I mean, he did a better promo than Chris Jericho did before his match with Rey Mysterio, which I will get to later. Then Punk had his match with Great Khali, which, you know, if you know Great Khali, he's not going to do anything. Just some really good stuff here by Punk and heel promos, but nothing besides that. Then I noticed that now the Hart Dynasty are really starting to come into their own as a tag team. It's really starting to gel, and their match on SmackDown was pretty good. I liked it. The Divas tag wasn't all that. I'm probably going a little out of order, but whatever. I really didn't enjoy the Divas tag all that much, even though I think Melina, if you saw my Mark Pearson response video, you know, Melina's my favorite diva. So, and then we got to Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, which was the main reason I wanted to do this kind of SmackDown review. Again, they had a great match. This one was 4 stars. One wasn't as good as the one from the Bash, but it still had a lot of the same drama and the same intensity that I liked from their match from the Bash. Before the match, as I mentioned, Chris Jericho did give a pretty good promo. Not as good as CM Punk's, but he did a great job summing down the match and saying that he's going to break his own record of being now a 10-time Intercontinental Champion, which I think JR said correctly. This makes this guy a no-doubt Hall of Famer, and I definitely agree with that. Ray did a lot of good spots in this match. I know he did a couple springboard moonsaults, which got a tiny bit predictable, but I still liked it. And this for the casual fans, must have really loved having this great of a quality of match on SmackDown. So I just gotta give big props to Rey Mysterio and Chris Jericho. And post-match, after Rey Mysterio does retain the Intercontinental title, Edge and Chris Jericho jump Rey Mysterio post-match along with Dolph Ziggler. Now this is probably going to set up a Rey Mysterio Dolph Ziggler match at at Night of Champions, and then afterwards Dolph Ziggler will become Chris Jericho's partner. Or maybe I see Dolph Ziggler now saying, I was holding that spot for somebody who couldn't be here that night, like maybe Finlay now stays as a heel and faces Rey Mysterio at Night of Champions, and Dolph Ziggler, along with Chris Jericho, takes on Legacy. Something like around those lines, but definitely Dolph Ziggler will be taking now a bigger role. And his match with John Morrison was also pretty good. I forgot to mention that on SmackDown. So overall, good Friday Night SmackDown. This is the last one we're going to have with Edge, so whatever. But it's definitely interesting to see what's going to happen, and they definitely have the best wrestling, bar none, on the show, especially with all the great booking, and definitely got to give thumbs up to Michael P.S. Hayes and everyone that works on SmackDown, because they are absolutely flying right now. And I think them and ROH on HDNet are absolutely just above and beyond everything else TV quality-wise right now. And next thing I want to talk about is, I am kind of a big MMA fan, and tonight is UFC 100. I don't see myself as like a big smart fan like I do for pro wrestling as I do for MMA, but I think it's kind of noteworthy to talk about because this is the biggest night maybe in MMA history, definitely in UFC history, the biggest pay-per-view of their career. They're expecting record buy rates, like 1.5 million tonight, and they have 3 belts on this main card that are worthy of being a main event of any pay-per-view, especially Mir and Lesnar, which I'll get into. The first of those 3 belts, which I'm just going to talk about briefly, are Michael Bisping versus Dan Henderson, who are the 2 Ultimate Fighter coaches for the US vs. UK season. And I see this fight going to a decision. Bisping has said that he is going to be the one to knock out Henderson, and some great strikers couldn't do it to Henderson, so I don't see that happening. I do see Henderson maybe winning by a majority decision, by unanimous decision, winning like 30-27 on all 3 scorecards. And I definitely think that Henderson is in line for a title shot in his division whenever that happens. I think Henderson is a... I'm not all that sure. This is why I don't know Dan Henderson's weight class. I gotta look it up really quickly. Dan Henderson is a... Hold on one second. I know this is really embarrassing that I can't think of it. This is why I do pro wrestling videos. That's what I thought. He was a middleweight. I think he's in shot for one of the next shots at Anderson Silva and the middleweight title. The winner of this fight should move on to there. Then next we got George St. Pierre versus Thiago Alves for the UFC World Welterweight Championship. I do see St. Pierre winning this fight by some sort of stoppage, or basically maybe actually no. I say this is a stoppage. I see St. Pierre winning by 2nd round knockout. I see Alves coming flying in at St. Pierre, and St. Pierre just kind of like saying, "No, you're not going to do that," and kind of just like bashes him around the end of the round, and St. Pierre comes at flying at Alves, and Alves doesn't know what to do, and St. Pierre knocks him out. That's what I see happening. And St. Pierre's wrestling is going to absolutely tear Alves up, because St. Pierre, I think, is one of the, if not the best wrestlers in the world right now for mixed martial arts. So I see, I haven't made it. Like, Davey Richards is my favorite Ring of Honor wrestler. St. Pierre's got to be my favorite UFC fighter, along with probably Brock Lesnar. But I'm not going to put bias into this pick. I still think St. Pierre is going to win his fight and retain the UFC Welterweight Championship, and then probably going to be taking on, I don't know, maybe if Paulo Thiago wins his fight on the main card, maybe he can challenge him next or something. Then the main event, which is a heavyweight champion unification bout. Brock Lesnar, who defeated Randy Couture at UFC 91, is going to take on Frank Mir, who won the interim heavyweight championship from Minotauro Nogueira at UFC 92. This is probably got to be the biggest, probably the match that everybody's looking forward to the most in a long, long time, and more than, probably since Tito Ken 3. More than Sarah Hughes, more than any championship match that I can remember, or maybe since Lesnar Couture at 91. So, my mind, my heart says Lesnar because I'm a big pro wrestling fan. But and I also along in the Couture fight, I picked Randy Couture to win. My heart said Lesnar, but my mind said Couture. But in this fight, my mind says Lesnar as well. I think Frank Mir's not taking Lesnar as serious as he should be, even though Mir is still one of the best in the world. And I think Lesnar's just going to be too much for Frank Mir. This is going to be pretty even with their first match. Brock Lesnar, if you saw UFC 81 when they first fought, Lesnar got a takedown on a former UFC heavyweight champion in about 5 seconds. So, I thought that was pretty cool. So, I do see Lesnar winning this fight by maybe a stretch, maybe a first round TKO, or maybe 2nd round or 3rd round TKO, but I do see Lesnar unifying the title, becoming their champion, and then maybe taking on, in the future, next opponent should probably be maybe Minotauro Nogueira. I know I'd love to see that fight. Overall, this is my UFC 100 predictions and my Smackdown review. Hopefully I'm back on PWG 99 review if this order comes, and I'll see you later.